We have a very special guest. So let keep them ready and let's go to my orb. My orb place. Hideous Kojima, I mean, Aiden, welcome to the last Respawn show. How are you?
Hey, I'm doing very well.
Good to have you. I hope the orb is not too tiny for you. It is got some orb.
Pretty spacious. I'm having a good time in this orb.
Oh, good.
Be pondered within it.
You know, it's ironic you are a guest this season. Had you called in last season, you would have had the Kodak room, but sadly, we are now doing orbs, doing orb action. So you're missing out on that.
Circles and triangles, my guy.
So, so a little background into you. I came across your Twitter account, the Hideous Kojima, which you reminded me before we were talking now that it was Save Aesthetics, right?
Sir, yes, sir. It used to be a Twitter gimmick account that was dedicated to chronicling every PS1 and PS2 save file, like whatever icon would show up when you make a save.
Yes. Yes, I recall that.
Made decent headway into that, but we being I, got to the point where I was getting onto games like Kuwan that were like $800 at the door for the privilege, and I'm like, it's time to pivot. And I always wanted to have sort of like a sort of a methodology to sort of communicate social media presence, and accrued about 10K, followers. So
yes, that's amazing. But I'm sorry.
Forever.
In order to get these memory card icons, you were buying the games themselves in order to find them and show them?
Well, it wasn't so much that I was buying the games for the account. It was just a cool thing to do with the collection,
Okay, so you were using from your personal collection.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
It was a shared collection between me and a then girlfriend. So we had like a whole bookshelf. So I just went through, and we had every time we would go to a Salvation Army or like a Goodwill, and we'd see something like M&M Kart Racer or like Full Spectrum Warrior. It's like, I wonder what that save file looks like. I don't know. Let's find out. It's $1.50.
I love this. Did you guys ever record any videos or behind the scenes of this? This sounds like an amazing documentary journey here or something. Seriously.
I didn't have like proper YouTube videos chronicling that. It was more if you pick through the account, I do have like sort of candid photos of me, because I would record live from the actual hardware on VHS, and it would just be pictures of cables kicked all over the bedroom floor, stuff like that. So there's production photos, but no videos, unfortunately.
Gotcha. Well, now you've pivoted your account to the Hideous Kojima. So let's get this out the way, because there is a lot of Kojima we're about to cover. Are you a fan of Kojima? Is this a nod, or is there a hatred here? What is going on? What is this?
No, actually, it's a I love Kojima, like a Mr. Metal Gear and all of my ecosystems and circles and friend groups, stuff like that. So, and I wanted a username that was not only, it meant something to me, but would also get a laugh upon first listen. And when you bust into someone's Twitch chat as the Hideous Kojima, people always smirk and like choke on it, and then they're like, "Oh, hello."
Yeah, I was expecting you to chat tonight, but I was like, oh, Hideous Kojima he's hiding in his cardboard box in the corner. He's waiting to be revealed tonight.
Yeah, I was actually I took a nap to be fresh first.
Oh.
I touched my orb. Thank you, friend.
I appreciate it. Thank you for waking up on time.
But yeah, I was the guard with the Z's coming out of him in the VR missions, like if firearms training 10 or whatever. Who always adds 10 seconds to your runtime.
Got you.
Oh,
Beautiful. Well, there's a little backstory into Aiden, right? I'm the worst. Addison. See, I knew I was gonna get it wrong. You should have messaged me. I apologize.
No worries.
I blame it on the magic of this Hogwarts place that I'm in right now. But anyway, let's get into what the PlayStation State of Play, I guess that's what they call it now. The PlayStation State of Play, Nintendo Direct. It's so hard to keep up with all these damn live streams. But anyway, as you're the guest of the show, what do you want to jump into? I have a ton of footage queued up, but I'm curious to hear your thoughts on.
I'll go through the things I had the least to say, and then we'll work our way to Silent Hill. Because that's what I want to finish on. Of the three pieces.
Okay. Well, what's the first one?
Nothing but good feelings on my half. I'm more sort of, we'll jump off that bridge together when we come to it. Judas. So Ken Levine's new shit.
Yes. He just went and made BioShock again, but it's called Judas, it looks like, right?
Yeah, that's sort of the energy I got from all of those. Well, what we got to see this past Wednesday. Now, doing what reading of the few table scraps we got of that, I'm kind of optimistically cautious.
Every word you say is being...
Because the premise sounds like it could go one of two ways. Either it'll be thought-provoking in the way that BioShock was, or it'll be some serious I Am 14 and this is deep shit. Because I was hearing it summarized as like, hey man, do you really trust, like all of your thoughts, are they unique to you? Which you like,
Interesting.
On paper, that sounds like it could be cliche, right? But consider this. How many great works of fiction are basically just man is the real monster, but you found some way to dress it up? Because you have to think Frankenstein. The dude didn't understand he was playing rough with one of the town's girls. They chased him down. They killed him. Man was the real monster. John Carpenter's The Thing. The monster is inside, the postman. Your best friend, the guy down the street.
So you think... So first off, I have to throw this out here. J Soto 83 says Judas Shock. I mean, you're looking at the footage here. Gameplay wise, this is BioShock. Am I wrong?
Yeah.
Like this is He just went and did BioShock again, but it's not really BioShock. It's Judas Shock.
G Soto, I have to say, he's one of my community members and a great friend, so I'm happy to see him here. Hey, thanks for turning up, G Soto. But
appreciate you.
Yeah, no, basically it's Rapture, but not Rapture. And I'm just, the premise excites me because if there's anyone who's going to tackle something like that, Ken Levine is who I'd want to put that in the hands of.
So the premise, the storyline, the backstory of the game is more intriguing to you right now than the gameplay, which, I mean, he may evolve the formula, but it's nothing completely new from the granddaddy of BioShock. One of the, I recently played the original BioShock last year on the show. I beat BioShock Infinite, and then I jumped into BioShock, the original BioShock, and there's night and day between those two games. But like the original BioShock,
tell me about your experience with it, dude. I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, the original BioShock to me still held up. To me, it's still a 10 out of 10 game that I wish more games were like. It felt completely open, but it wasn't a completely open world experience. You had the arrow there, and I would turn off the arrow so I could just explore the environment. And it'd be nice to have a similar experience, but it's just very weird for him to come back and just, hey, I'm gonna make another BioShock, but it's not really BioShock because we made our own. I guess he made his own development team, right?
Yeah, that's Ken Levine. He's one of, much like Kojima, he's one of the last few auteurs. So he'll have his Joseph Kony child army.
Gotcha. All right.
Yeah.
So,
and I mean, I hate to sound like I'm focusing primarily on the narrative. Sorry to cut you off, by the way.
No worries.
Looking at the gameplay, or at least the mock-ups, I know I'll like it. Certainly.
Okay.
And G Soda says, yeah, sometimes a one-trick pony has a really neat trick, and I can't disagree. So I know I'm gonna love it. That's in my hand, but
yeah, that's a good point. We
but
really haven't that cut game. Go ahead.
Oh, I'm sorry. As a narrative-driven game, though, plot, like it or not, is the driving force, and kind of like JRPGs for me. If I can't mesh with any of these characters, I don't want to be here for 40 hours.
That's fair.
So that's what I'm.
That is 100% fair. I see that. All right. What other game did you want to talk about?
Before we get to Silent Hill, I do just want to brush past like all 15 things Kojima decided to spring on us. Like the dude is like, okay, I'm gonna work on PT and the Phantom Pain in 2015. All right, cool. Kids, you get to suck on that for 5 years. I'm gonna go hang out with Norman Reedus, make a game in 2019, and then pull another Groundhog Day, and then you're gonna pull me back out of the earth. I'm gonna hit you with a Death Stranding movie, a sequel to it, and then this isn't whatever the fuck that is. So
and don't forget OD with Jordan
oh
Peele.
Shit, yeah, that's right, the Xbox exclusive.
Yeah. I one thing I want to say really quick. I'm a huge fan of Hideo Kojima, but I was personally disappointed with Death Stranding. Kudos for him for trying to make a new kind of game. That's kind of hard to try to make a new genre of game. He was trying to make the Strand type game. But the irony of Death Stranding to me was I was intrigued by the story. And then halfway through the game, we just didn't get, at least the usual cutscene affair of Hideo Kojima was famous for. That's what I was there for. And sure, we got more of it towards the end. But by the end of the game, I didn't know what the fuck was going on. And it sounded like even Hideo Kojima doesn't know what the fuck's going on. What did you feel of Death Stranding?
So, Death Stranding is something I think that a lot of people weren't prepared for. And I say that as, if you look back through that guy's whole career, right? He has the desire to take whatever genre's in vogue. So at the time of Death Stranding, you have to think we had so many games like Gone Home, who were affectionately called like the walking sim.
Yes.
He took that and sort of made it like a multiplayer affair.
Yes.
With a little bit more interactivity.
Yes.
And look at Metal Gear. If you go back to the days of the MSX, you have games like Contra and Commando, top-down shooters, shit like that, like the Jackal for NES. If you watch the Metal Gear review for NES, like the Angry Video Game Nerd review, he's like, James makes a really salient point. Kill everything on screen, don't leave anything alive. But Metal Gear, you couldn't fuck with that. Or, Snatcher was kind of like a PC-88. God, what I always forget the proper noun name for the genre. What is Doki Doki Literature Club? Interactive novel. It's something upon that collection of words.
FMBs,
Yeah, but I don't know if you ever played the Snatcher for Sega CD or if you've
I think
into it extensively.
I think I may have played it last year on the show when we did a sci-fi season. I don't think I played it for long because I got stuck at the beginning.
Okay. Yeah, that's another thing, you gotta want it. But it's got like light gun, like really, really action heavy stuff for something that's sort of a interactive novel genre. So Death Stranding is very much, to get back on topic, to answer your question without any more waffling. Yeah, no, and it's Lyle from Oni Plays also says, "Yeah, man, I really like Death Stranding, but I don't recommend anybody play it." And that's kind of like my scene. It's like
Same.
when you go over to like your girlfriend's house, and Animal Crossing is her rock garden game.
Mm-hmm.
That was Death Stranding for me. It wasn't a
Interesting.
game that I really, really played like Metal Gear. Like I want to know what happens to the Snake family,
Mm-hmm.
Ocelot's family as well. These, you know, Death Stranding was more like I play it for 45 minutes at the start of my day as I watch the sun peer through my window with a cooling off cup of coffee,
Mm.
and then I put it away, like Minecraft is for some people. But Death Stranding 2, I've heard a lot of my friends who aren't Kojima bootlickers talk about it, and they're like, it actually looks like, hey man, I'll call myself what I am, you know. But if anything else, I am self-aware. But like they say that 2 looks like,
It kind of looks like a Metal Gear Solid fever dream, in my opinion.
for lack of being smarmy, it looks like there's more video game there, is how they phrased it, and I'm like, I can't disagree.
Yes, that's
So,
a good that is a good point as well. It definitely feels like there is more video game, but it also just feels like a Metal Gear Solid fan game. You know, there's with they're wearing the Campbell hats there at the beginning.
yeah, like
There's a giant. It looks like a giant Metal Gear at some point, almost like what. Like he can't escape it, in my opinion.
it does look like a ghetto ass Shagohod.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Dell
the
says
vehicle that was
Kojima
just on screen.
bootlickers. I would lick his Tom Fords. Oh god damn! All right, Dell. Welcome to the show,
see,
Dell.
Well, honestly, if you were a true fan, you'd know that he wears Doc Martens.
So it sounds like you liked Death Stranding. You liked you
and
liked it,
I'll
you
leave
liked
it there.
it.
I liked it.
You liked it for what it
certainly did.
was.
Yeah.
And now he's going full more video game with Death Stranding 2 here. And
I would eat his Doc Martens.
No, I would. Oh, Dell. But yeah, I don't know if I'm gonna play Death Stranding 2. Like, I really, Death Stranding for me when I played it, it was during the pandemic, so it was kind of the perfect game.
Uh-huh.
We were all trapped indoors, and I needed games that took me outside, and Death Stranding gave me that experience. But sadly, it didn't give me the Hideo Kojima experience I was used to with Metal Gear. And I know these are vastly different games, but I was kind of disappointed in the story, like the cutscene. That's what I fucking wanted, And that middle, there was just that middle section where you're just walking. The only story
You gotta want it. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And I beat the game.
I totally feel it.
I beat the game, and I still don't know what the fuck happened, and maybe I need to have you on another show, and we need to have a deep dive into what the fuck happened with Death Stranding.
Dude, we'll go for cigars. The problem with Death Stranding being so long form is that even if you're paying attention with your smartphone off and on the charger across the room, like you're really trying to fucking invest, it is so long form that you'll forget shit you saw last week.
That's fair.
Because it just takes so long to get from like start credits to end credits.
That's fair.
Yeah.
So moving on, after the Death Stranding showcase, they got Hideo Kojima on stage. I love that everybody is just wheeling Hideo Kojima out like this show pony, and I love the man. He's a very talented man, but I hope it's not going to his head. He's hanging out with all these celebrities and all these famous people.
Babe. No, he's been a prima donna since like fucking Snatcher took off in the late 80s and like Metal Gear took off. Like, trust me, dude. His head is so big already.
Yeah, that's what I'm a little worried about. It's good to be ambitious and all this stuff, but yeah, he is making a lot of stuff right now. They just announced. I don't care how do you pronounce the espionage game?
Yeah, I've been sneezing and calling it that.
That's the new espionage action game that he's making. Yeah, perfect. That he's making for Sony. He just announced. We'll see in 5 years. I thought it would be funny if Sony hired Hideo Kojima to reboot Sight to Filter. I feel like that's what they should have done.
Oh, I would not. Like, it would just be oh god, honey.
He is the Kanye West of gaming. Oh my, that's terrible. Don't do that.
So Jeremy Blaustein, he's not that young individual's not entirely wrong, because in the days of Metal Gear Solid coming, being an international product, Jeremy Blaustein, who was responsible for the translation for both Metal Gear and then Snatcher and Police Knots before that. There were a couple of things from the MSX games that Jeremy took to Hideo, and he was like, hey man, you're getting a second lease on this game in the West. There are a couple of things here that sound really cool to a Japanese ear, but sound fucking dumb to a native English speaker. Primarily the name Big Boss. He was like, hey man, can we rename Snake's dad anything else? And he's like, nope, it stays.
Yeah!
Yeah.
Sorry. I love that.
Yeah, no. That's the response to have.
I love that. We don't have much time left, so we're gonna skip. We're gonna skip Rise of Ronin. Looks good. Until Dawn remake. Why? I don't. Sony needs to stop remaking.
The Last of Us 2, the remake, the remaster, part 2.
Yeah, and if in 5 years they're gonna remake both of them into one fucking game, or all three. Anyway. So you have a lot to say about Silent Hill. Did you want to speak about the Silent Hill short message? Did you play that?
I got some words. I got some fucking words.
All right, I'm gonna load up the footage. What the footage I saw of this? It looked very PT. It was a very PT.
Yeah. Speaking of games that Hideo sort of made towards the end of yesterdecade, but now there's the sequel with more video game there. Short message, same deal.
So it's very kind of.
But that's, yeah. It's what PT should have been had it had a few more weeks in the oven.
Oh yeah, well PT was a demo.
Well, finished.
Yeah. It was a play, literally PT. I might blow some people's minds. But playable trailer, teaser. Yeah. So when I saw this, I was like, oh, they're coming full circle, because it was supposed to be a playable teaser for Silent Hills, which Hideo Kojima, Del Toro, and Norman Reedus were gonna make, and I think was Jinju Ito involved in Silent Hills as well. Can we go to the fucking dimension where that game was a reality, because it might have been one of the greatest terrifying horror games of all time, and it blows my mind. But anyway, Silent Hill messages. How long is it? Is it worth playing? It's free. What are your thoughts?
Smell the Roses playthrough is 4 hours long.
Wow.
Very much worth it.
Okay.
There's no draggy bits.
And
I don't know, man. It feels like it's back. I mean, I would have loved to have like maybe some combat to it.
Right.
I'm trying to dance around it because there's probably a bunch of beautiful people in chat who haven't had the opportunity to sit down with it. It's only like a day old. So I'm trying to pick my words very carefully.
Oh, yeah. No spoilers. Walgom's very excited about Silent Hill. Look, it sounds like. Jesus Christ,
I hate to ruin it for him.
YouTube's like, can you want to buy Silent Hill remake? I don't even have a PS5. Calm down, YouTube. Jesus Christ. All right. So let's hold hands and jump. Let's jump off this Silent Hill remake, which I see a lot of fans are having a lot of mixed feelings. I mean, they've been having a lot of mixed feelings of this Silent Hill 2 remake, because Silent Hill 2, and correct me if I'm wrong, is probably one of the greatest Silent Hill games, I think, right?
See, for me, I got some fucking words about Silent Hill 2 because it's kind of the mark of a basic. Like, the people who get their game opinions from YouTube think pieces as opposed to actually playing the fucking games all say that 2 is their favorite.
Yes.
But I haven't.
I played Silent Hill 2. Sorry to cut you off. I have played Silent Hill 2. I've never beat it. I beat part 3. I think I beat The Room. And I played the other ones for the 360, whatever. And I beat Silent Hill 1 on the show last Halloween. Actually, Michael Myers came in, he stabbed me, and then he beat it. That's the whole thing. But Michael Myers beat Silent Hill.
You recovered very well. I'm very happy to see you with us, homie.
I listen. I'm a clone. There's a whole storyline. Anyways, but anyway, get into your love or hatred of Silent Hill 2. Tell us.
See, the thing is that I don't hate Silent Hill 2, but I do feel like Silent Hill 2 is kind of responsible for the Scooby-Dooification of Silent Hill. Where it's like,
interesting.
regardless if Pyramid Head, because Pyramid Head is part of James's manifestations, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Silent Hill is kind of like a bug zapper, or like moths to a flame. All of these troubled people come to this town and see, very, very targeted, you know. I hate to use the word manifestation 18 times in one paragraph, but, it's what you got.
Yeah. What else are you gonna call them? Fucking weird creature monsters? I mean, yeah.
Fucking weird creature monsters from the other side. But, brilliant, dude. You're always there for me. I love you.
Anytime.
Always offering solutions.
Anytime.
God damn, this combat looks good.
So you're a fan of the combat, because a lot of people were having mixed feelings of the over the shoulder, and I was like, are you guys shocked? That's what's popular with Resident Evil 4 remake. I mean, everyone was loving it. Now you see it in Silent Hill, you're like, oh, I don't what do you want?
What? And here's the thing: it was the quote combat trailer, right? So
Yeah,
Silent Hill is a game that's known to silently observe how you interact with it, and then give you endings or consequences based on that. Like staring at the Angela's knife in your inventory influences the ending. Interesting.
Did not know that.
Yeah, because you'll realize that that's not actually an equipable weapon, but it's a knife. You're like, what the fuck? I won't spoil that, but just know that is a cause and effect thing. It's the combat trailer, but who's to say you couldn't take the Shattered Memories approach, where you take a pacifist and you fucking run? They're just showing us one part of an unfinished game, and people are on Twitter acting like, oh, dude, I finished it. Like, how do you know?
But what's crazy to me is these are the same people that are on Twitter bitching that they haven't seen the combat gameplay. Like, what is the combat gonna be? You want to see, and then you see it, and then you're like, oh, that's what it is. And I'm just like,
you have to think.
Go ahead.
We don't even have a release date, right?
Oh, yeah.
And it already looks that together. People don't actually know this, dude. Like, a lot of your favorite games. Think of your childhood favorite right now. You ain't got to name it. But that game, like most games, came together within 6 weeks of it going gold and shipping, like getting stamped to disc. If I'm doing a lot of projects, like video projects with demo discs, and just those things are time capsules in a crazy sense. There was a summer jam-packed demo discs from 1999. Hawk's Pro Skater on it. Oh, dude, everyone loves Tony Hawk's Pro, or at least, in a roundabout apple pie kind of way, likes Tony Hawk's Pro Skater.
That was my main Tony Hawk 1 and 2 were the main games to beat last season. I did a Y2K season. Everyone voted.
Fuck yes.
But unfortunately, they wanted me to play the fucking remakes, which I obliged to. We didn't get to play the originals, which I wanted to. So, yeah. Feel like
any port in a storm, I guess. But even if you didn't like Tony Hawk in the day, your musical taste sure as hell did. Your iTunes playlist sure felt it. But here's the thing, is that demo disc launched in May of 99. Tony Hawk would not come out until that September. So there was like a good 5 months between that build and the retail release. And it is shocking that the first taste, like, it's shocking that Tony Hawk did as well as it did, considering that was the first taste a lot of people had of it in their mouth. It's so much of it is placeholder. There's shit that doesn't even, it hasn't even been implemented yet. The gravity is weird.
Oh.
Like,
all right.
It went on to be in everyone's living room. But here's the thing. Silent Hill 2, to get back to what I was trying to, compare it to, is like, it looks that good. Yeah, granted, like, the shotgun, if you watch the shotgun footage, he doesn't really have recoil to it. It's kind of a T-800 Terminator.
Yeah.
Like, he doesn't feel the shock.
I feel like that's something those are details.
That'll come in time.
They're gonna add, like, yeah. Walt Goldman says first person would be cool. I don't. You mean you got that on the Resident Evil games, and they're great. I kind of like the third person. I don't know. It depends on the game. I guess.
Yeah, true, very true. But
first person Silent Hill, I mean, you get that with Silent Hill short memories there. Small memories. What was it?
Yeah, short message was a great time. No, like honestly, like I've paid for bigger pieces of shit. Well, I'm not trying to insinuate that any part of it was shit, but I've like paid money for a worse time.
No, I spent $100 on Marvel's Legends, so
How'd that go? I'm not a comic enthusiast, but I am curious when people tell me about stuff like that, just to be,
just to hear buyer's remorse.
I mean, Schadenfreude plays into it, babe.
Yeah. Where you're in denial. Like the first taste of video game denial I went through as a teen was Perfect Dark Zero for the Xbox 360. I was in denial for a good couple weeks there. I had my cousin. We played Halo co-op together. He came over for Thanksgiving. We sat down like, yeah, this is gonna be our next co-op game, and we play it for an hour. He's like, yo, can you put Halo back on? I'm not feeling this.
Yeah, no, like this is the biggest 5 out of 10.
So,
and the problem with Perfect Dark is like that fucker functions. Like it sure is a video game. You put it on the screen, it does catch fire on the 360, but
they did their job. Rare. They did the bare minimum there. Wall Goblin says mine was Arc 2. It blows. How much you spent on that? I mean, there's probably a lot of people that just spent $100 or something on the Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, and that's a whole other fucking story. Anyway, I'll let you. So, are you gonna be there day one for the Silent Hill remake? You gonna be playing that?
I fucking know I will be, dude. Absolutely. I'll tell you and all the beautiful people about it.
Oh yeah.
I just think, I just see all the fans. And I say the fans like pretend that there's scare quotes around that. It's just complaining about it, and I'm like, dog. Like we were all worried. Like, okay, so if you monitor the Twitter blotter, and I'm running over time, my guy, so you can kick me out whenever.
No, I'm keeping out of time, but it's coming to a natural conclusion here. So I'll do what you gotta do.
So, basically, a parting thought is if you monitor Twitter discourse, like literally hours before that footage dropped, everyone is like, hey man, it's been over a year since Blooper showed anything.
Yeah.
I think it might get canceled. And then they show us gameplay that looks, I wouldn't call it a V1.0, but approaching it. And then they're not happy with it. I'm like, dude, combat is one of the hardest things to program. And have it look good.
And that's honestly something the Silent Hill franchise I feel like has struggled with, and maybe they do it on purpose, as a survival heart attack, but especially in a remake, Silent Hill and Resident Evil are two different halves of the same coin. I like to think,
like Coke and Pepsi.
Yeah, exactly. People love Coke, people love Pepsi. Me, I quit soda years ago. You should too. I drink club soda. That's all I'm gonna say. But I'm intrigued to play this. Unfortunately, do you think it's gonna come out this year? What the fuck is club soda?
It's spicy water, my guy.
Holy shit! That's what my fucking wife says.
Really?
Every time I give her. Oh, spicy water. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That's all right, whatever. It's bubbles.
It's liquid TV static.
Does it come with a club? I mean, they go good with club. You're getting us off topic, Wall Goblin. Listen, do you think Silent Hill remake is coming out this year? What do you think?
If we don't hear shit by June, no.
Okay.
But I do think there's a snowball chance in hell yes.
Okay, because it was rumored to come out last year, which is crazy now seeing this footage.
Yeah.
And I wonder what's going on behind the scenes there. If Konami's spreading, because they're doing so much Silent Hill shit, they're spraying people too thin.
That's what I think it is. That's the reason they're dragging their feet, is because it's really, there's no other way, They're doing the best they can.
Yeah, you don't want to be known as a team that fucked up Silent Hill 2. You don't want that on your life, on your resume.
I was about to say, God, can you imagine being the person responsible for a Silent Hill train wreck?
Go ahead.
You'd be like the guy who's known for I forget his name, hilariously. During a routine cleaning of the Mona Lisa.
Oh yes.
He went too hard in the paint and he removed her eyebrows.
Oh.
Like, oh.
God. To be the guy to fuck up
Silent Hill 2.
It's fucking up the Mona Lisa. I fucking love it. All right. Tell the good folks here. I'm gonna post you a link in the chat where they can find you.
Thank you very much for having me.
Oh, you're very welcome, sir. If you want more Hideous Kojima, here's his Twitch channel. He be streaming. Unfortunately, you don't save any of your clips or videos. I creeped on you. I was hoping to watch a stream. You got a planned stream coming up?
Yeah, I stream live like multiple times a week, like at least 5 days out of the week.
Oh, okay.
But this year, well, not this year, this month, I plan on taking my VODs and actually cutting them down into palatable, like 15-minute videos.
You should, yes. I unfortunately upload entire episodes on YouTube, so we all. There's people watching them. There's people fucking watching 4 hours of this show, and I'm just like, cool.
I know, and especially when you see the engagement, like Carnival ride, like the roller coaster profile. You're like, oh man, you guys are hanging out with it.
Mm-hmm.
You're not just getting 20 minutes in and then bailing. You're like, oh, okay.
Oh, these fellas, they're regulars now. They come around, they shake their ass, or I shake my ass. There's a lot of ass shaking on this show.
Excellent. Well, I look forward to shaking ass alongside you in the future, my dude.
It was a pleasure. Let's give a round of applause for Hideous Kojima. Aiden, did I get it right?
Addison.
Damn it! I'll get it right one of these days. Addison. Thank you so much for coming on the last Respawn show. You have a good night, and I hope to see you on the next one. Take care.
Oh, he's Dandalf. Watch him swing around and shoot magic spells at your head.